We're now joined by political analyst Professor Ntsikelelo Breakfast to give us a view and an overview of the first 3 days of the Madlanga Commission. Professor, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. Let's start off here. It's been 3 days now that we've seen General Mkhwanazi at the witness stand at the Commission of Inquiry looking into, of course, political interference and corruption. Maybe let's start off here. What do you make, firstly, now that we've seen this commission get underway, and also the testimony of General Mkhwanazi?
Yeah, I think, Bali, for me, so far so good. I think the framing of the general has been quite consistent in terms of how he has been painting the picture of what has happened from his standpoint, of course. Regarding issues of political interference in the workings of SAPS in terms of the subversion of authority of police officers and how politicians have been giving orders to senior police officers to put on hold certain investigations. But what was interesting, again, was the framing that he made regarding how some journalists as well have been working side by side with the criminal syndicates in terms of framing, again, certain discourses. That is very dangerous, Mbali. That is very dangerous. Those are very serious allegations, because if those allegations are anything to go by, it simply means that some journalists have been framing misleading discourses and covering up for certain people. So I'm very much interested in that, including some academics. I'm not going to name names at the moment, because those people also, I think it is fair and square for them to be given a golden opportunity to present their side of the story. But I took note into that, because those are serious allegations. So I get the sense that, there are different understandings and interpretations in terms of what has happened, but I think we need to get into the bottom of this in terms of what really happened. And from my standpoint, maybe the time frame that has been set is quite short, because it looks like, in my point of view, it might run for a longer period than what it has been planned.
Certainly, Professor. Also, touching on the issue around, the police minister, who's currently on a leave of absence, something that also came out today. What do you make of the general's comments coming out again about the police minister? What do you make now that he's also linking him to certain political events in KwaZulu-Natal?
No, of course. And at the heart of that is the fact that the way I understood his narrative is the fact that the political task team was basically done away with because of the orders from the minister. And according to him, it was doing a good job in terms of uncovering the truth and in terms of following up on some of the findings of the Mawerani Commission. So I think he was taken aback by that, and I like the fact, the way he framed it. He says that when he realized that the workings of SAPS were captured or tampered with, he had to inform the people who employed him, namely the citizens of the country. No wonder he held that press conference and then unveiled his side of the story.
And a number of, people continue to be, put forward here by the Madlanga Commission through the testimony here of Commissioner Mkhwanazi. Professor, also looking at what this essentially means for the country when we continue to see so many names being put forward by, very senior police officials in the country. How concerning should we be as a country, particularly that we're now seeing the likes of former ministers and current ministers, also their names being put forward at the commission?
Yeah, it means that there is a problem. First of all, I think we do have a problem in the security architecture of the country, And to me, the problem transcends beyond the security apparatus. Because when analyzing security, I mean, I've been saying this, you can't analyze security in isolation. You have to link it to the economy. Because, I mean, who wants to invest in a country where there are insecurities which are posing a danger to the country? So you want to invest in a country where security issues are addressed, and whereby there is some kind of a demarcation in terms of who does what. So when you have politicians giving illegal orders in terms of who can be disciplined and so on, really it's a serious matter. It's not something that we should take lightly. It's something that as a country we should take seriously.
And Professor, coming to another issue that we saw today, we saw Nafiz Modak being sentenced to 10 years imprisonment, 7 direct years. And when it comes to, why he has been sentenced, it is because he paid a bribe to a police officer, and basically looking at what the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry is dealing with, right? It is corruption and collusion by some in the police force and some who are politically connected. What does it say about the relations between, criminals and the police force?
Yeah, Mbali, whether we like it or not, that's why I kicked off by saying that there is a problem. I think we need to appreciate that there is a problem. We do have institutionalized corruption, and that also tempers with the workings of police officers in terms of executing their duties on the ground. If then there are politicians who are civilians who are giving orders to policemen and women in terms of how they should engaged in their operations. It's really a national security issue. Actually, it's more than that. It's also a human security issue, So it's something that as a country, as I indicated earlier on, we need to be very much concerned about. And it needs to be addressed, because it looks like also the previous commission that we had of Judge Zondo did not achieve its intended objectives in terms of addressing these issues in the security apparatus, because there is a common denominator between some of the problems that arose in the beginning and the problems which are arising now. Because even himself, the general in question, indicated that it looks like history is repeating itself.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for your time this evening.